The only stick on the trail. That's awesome. Well, I'm pooping on a log again. Got my bear butt hanging over. Seems like a good day to talk about bears because I got my bear butt here. And yeah, so the thing about bears is, you know, they're kind of stupid, except like they're dumb in the sense that like groggy and lazy, and they just kind of fumble around. But and this other sense, they have this great memory, like unlike many other animals seem to have, where once they learn something, they can't unlearn it. They know it, and that could be anything, especially if food's involved. That's why stunning bears and removing them, taking them even 500 kilometers from where they've been a problem. Those bears are so smart, memory-wise, they will work their way all the way back to that same garbage can that they found food at that got them habituated. So the idea that the COs can just come and move bears around who are problems is not true. And then people get mad at the COs because they have to destroy bears. But the truth is, you know, conservation officers will often try to spook them first and see how they behave, and if the bear just doesn't have any. And that's one of my long tactics. I've chased them off many times, confrontations and standoffs, and they always run the other way. So when you get one that's not concerned about the fact they're shooting bear bangers and coming at it and chasing at it and sending dogs at it, then they got a bear that probably needs to be destroyed. So this bear is going to be smelling my poop in this forest. I bet you he's smelling mine from yesterday.
I got the Easter special. No, oh, your video.
There's some snow! Yay! The thing about trees is they like to pretend they're not even alive when you're around them. They just stand there, don't really do anything. They're like, nothing to see here. It's not till you leave that they start doing shit, you know, and doing what trees do. And they don't do it around people, right? So that's why the old saying goes, if a tree talks in the forest and no one's around, did it make a sound? There's one! Got it! But thank goodness I had some of this stuff, because yesterday I didn't, and I had to poo. I'm in like a bad run right now of having to poo in the middle of the day, which is problematic for bush workers. And I'm in a conifer forest, there ain't exactly much to wipe your butt with. There's snow. That was cold. I don't think I've ever seen it quite like that before. There's snow! Yeah, snow! Well, I was one of those young kids that grew up around the farm, booting Opa Van Egmon's vicious geese if they got in the way or anything like that, or trying to get cows into milk barns with the help of an old axe handle, whacking them on the arse. So I just kind of learned all along not to take too much shit from animals, and that's the way I've always been. There she comes.
Oh yeah!
That wasn't too bad. I feel pretty good about myself. I see an animal, I don't feel scared necessarily, so you know, I wouldn't be like me when you're out there, but I mean, most bears don't want much to do with you, and that's the way they actually are. You get a black bear who's following you around, you got to go on the offensive against it. You got to show it. If you got the bear spray, that's probably the best option. It's statistically more effective than firearms, and you're less likely to kill yourself or anybody else. However, most people I know who've discharged bear mace have done so by accident and have sprayed themselves, so there is that danger. I do have a hatchet with me, but generally, you know, not every day I do, and I don't think about it that much. There's sticks, there's things to fight with. I'm a tough man. I've had many bear encounters, though, and many standoffs and fights. One of my first ones, I ran into a mother bear and two cubs, and I charged at her because I had nothing else I could do. Hooting and hollering, huh, huh, super loud coming at her. And she bought that, took off with the other cub, and left the one in the tree. And I didn't realize at the time that the mother black bear is actually not a very dangerous animal. They're really predisposed to forest living, and her main defense is to climb a tree and get the cubs to safety. And she will abandon one. So there's a difference between grizzly bear mums and black bear mums. A grizzly bear mom, you do not mess with her. She's the one bear that I fear running into. I fear running into her more than anything else in the bush. Basically, there's a male grizzly even doesn't scare me that much. Every one of them I've bumped into has been pretty docile and disinterested. So I can think of quite a few times where I've thrown gravel at a bear, or a piece of wood, or a rock, or fucking charged at him, or did something to get him off the road, or whatever, right? So that's me, and I know that's how the conservation officers, they have that guy who's always, that's his job, is to scare the bears. And until that stops working, you know, they don't have to destroy any animal if it's still running, right? It's not a problem. There's one mother bear, I'm not sure if she's still alive, but she was in Prince George for 8 years downtown. And the conservation officers knew about her. She was seen lots, but anytime an official looking vehicle pulled up, she was gone. She somehow knew the difference between official people and unofficial people. So she would disregard average citizens, but if someone with a, you know, a cruiser or a something official pulled up, she would be gone. And she was never a problem bear. She figured out how to survive in the city just fine, and kept the cubs in there, and they were aware of her the whole 8 years, and many sightings, and that was just her. She chose to live there, and she wasn't some garbage problem bear. And if she found some garbage, it wasn't, for whatever reason, she was okay. So there's just no real rules when it comes to, each animal's different, right? There's tendencies, and we know the tendencies, and they're often pretty predictable, but not really, you know. But then again, if you think bears are unpredictable, talk to humans, man. They're the most unpredictable thing on earth. So they can come up with any idea in their head and run with it. Useless grill. The most dangerous, probably the most statistically likely to hurt you, is the male black bear. They like to stalk people if they're desperate. So when you see a black bear hiding and watching, your kids are watching you, like I seen last year, that little... It was just a small one, but he was watching my children there at John Foster's house. And there is videos on YouTube. I went after that bear, and after 3 encounters, 3 engagements of me scaring it off, it never came back. So I was thinking after the second one, well, it keeps coming back, it ain't good. But no, the third one seemed to be enough, and we never seen him again. So I seen a bear yesterday on the highway. Of course, I seen one sleeping in its den a few weeks back. This is the first time I've seen one on our block. He's going the other way. He's got really nice claws though, beautiful. So it's groppling out, these little hailstones. There they are. Some slight convection today in the clouds, making little hailstones. If it was hotter out today, maybe it'd be thunderstormy. But instead, this is all we get. Just a new kind of suffering with 1 hour left in my work week. Mud mobiling, buddy.
Yeah, it's not bad.